Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have you in this special training. We're going to be covering the trust factor. And trust, it may seem at the first sight as if it's not that important of a subject to take time to talk about, but I think it is because it lays the foundation to everything we're gonna be doing in the future. So it's really, really, really high important. Not only that, but the fact also is if we implement trust element tools that we can build trust from the get-go, then your job eventually will be so easy to get those returns on your effort later on. But if you do not take time to build trust ahead of time or to implement trust as you go, then it's going to be tough for you to get results, because without trust basically there is no relationship. And the idea, by the way, my name is Yunus and Bushashia, and I am an ex life agent who turned into an online marketer. I've been doing online marketing for the last 5 years, and suddenly I noticed that the financial world, and more specifically the life insurance agents, are still using the same method that they were using since I was there more than 7 years, I believe now. And that's what brought me to move and to want to add some value inside this market. So without further ado, we hear a lot about know, like, and trust. In marketing, we hear these terms a lot, and it really resonates with us. But we never really take the time to ask ourselves, what does it really mean? So we are not going to be talking about know, like. That's for another topic for another day. But the trust, what does it really mean to trust somebody? I mean, trust here, when we speak about trust here inside the marketing, it's not like the same trust that we talk about between friends or between family or between spouses. It's completely different kind of trust, and that's what we want to shed the light today. So the first thing that we want to make sure that we understand inside the trust, the mechanism and how trust is built, is by putting goodwill. And goodwill, there is an analogy that we speak about. Putting your bank account of goodwill needs to be always high, so that it doesn't matter what happened. The more you put goodwill, the more you give value and you offer help and you help other people, the better chance you have once you put that piece of content asking for something, or you have an offer or anything, then your chances of getting those returns, reciprocity, kicks in, and you are automatically people stop and listen. So goodwill is extremely important. And what it does, not only it helps us in the future be heard and get people to listen to us, but also it builds trust. It builds momentum towards trust, because if I am getting something on a daily basis from you that helps me, not only it's not just helping me to resolve a specific point, but just help me nurture my understanding and educate me, then eventually when I get to a point where I want to make that decision, it's going to be influential, your input and your goodwill that you already put into my understanding of how things work. So this is very important. The next thing is familiarity and intimacy. Something that it's we tend to don't take the time to understand is the fact that familiarity uh, explain itself exactly as being trust. Because if you see something on a daily basis, then you automatically eventually what you develop, oh, I know that thing, so that therefore you trust that thing, and you don't even know if that thing worth trusting or no. So what I'm trying to say is that familiarity is really uh, can be translated easily to trust with time. And that's why we need to build familiarity with our audience, so that can be translated eventually into trust. Intimacy is hard to describe, but I believe once you are you can build intimacy at a more at a one I'm sorry, a one-on-one level when you are striking conversations with the clients or with prospects. You build that sort of intimacy with people by asking them specific questions that are related to their life and to their decisions that they made throughout their life. And just by getting into those specificities, that create intimacy. So intimacy is very important, and it's more created once we have that one-to-one relationship or one-to-one encounter. The next is honesty. Obviously, honesty builds trust. And if I am straightforward with you and I'm telling you my experience and I'm telling you what I've been through and telling you who I am, then automatically you start believing in me and start trusting me, right? So the next thing is authenticity and vulnerability. Authenticity is a big word that we hear all over the places, but why and how does it translate into real world explanation? And authenticity, when we share limitations and post challenges, this demonstrates our how human we are, and it really helps other people resonate to our message and see us from a different, completely different lenses, since we are also vulnerable. We are also just human as they are. We've been through the same problems and even more, perhaps. So that all that the fact of being vulnerable and open up the wound in a way and speak about all those wounds that we've been through and trying to reach the top mountain, all these elements helps create authenticity, because we are authentic with ourselves, we are aligned with who we are, and therefore there is nothing to hide. And that by doing that, just by doing that, it creates a huge amount of trust. The next thing that we want to make sure is to have intent in our work. So we want to show up with intent the same way I am showing up today, and I am showing up wanting to add value to whoever is watching this video and helping, and just for the sake of helping, nothing in return policy there. That in itself is intent, and that's the proper way of conducting and doing business, because we don't want to approach anything, especially in the life insurance business. We do not want to approach anything with the intent of wanting to make sale or wanting to close sales. We want to approach everything with the intent of, hey, I'm here, I'm giving you the information, I want to help. You want to take it, fine. You don't want to take it, it's perfectly fine as well. So that attitude really helps build trust. And finally, I want to speak about credibility. And credibility comes from consistency. And consistency is a huge part of being trustful. By the way, I have a little cold, so that's why I sound like I can hear myself. So I'm sorry about that. That's why I'm kind of screaming a little bit. So that's why I'm sorry about that. So consistency comes in a form of many ways. Trust is built through repeated, predictable interactions. So we want to show up pretty much, not, I'm not going to say daily, because people have lives and they have things, but you want to make sure that you are showing up consistently and getting your audience used to see you specific days of the week, for example, like once a week or twice a week or 3 days a week, and you stick to it. Whatever you decide to show up with your audience, then you stick to that. Okay, we're going to be talking, by the way, of all the details on how to go about doing this in the future, but I prefer that we tackle this issue of building trust and how this is all important before we even get there and speak about the details. Next is we want to be perfectly aligned with our words and with our actions. So if our words are not aligned with our actions, with our past, with whatever we have experienced, there's going to be some misalignment. So we want to be perfectly fine, aligned with who we are, what we are trying to achieve. And that's why I said you want to approach everything with an attitude of nothing in return policy. We don't want nothing from anybody. Everything we want, and it's true, everything we want is to add value in people's life, and that's it. And then things will happen on their own. Okay, when you approach life this way, things happen and everything open up. Next is we want to develop a reputation of doing exactly what we say. So this is very important, and creating a system and processes that ensures that we are consistent and reliable. So the processes and the systems, we're gonna have to talk about that later on in a more detailed manner. Okay, so this is it. I hope that you guys, this was a short session. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please make sure to put them down in the comments. I'll make sure to answer all the questions by myself, but please make sure to join me inside the Facebook group or inside the LinkedIn group. My Facebook group and the LinkedIn group, I'll put the links as well in the first section and in the note section, so that you can join me there, because I really go much deeper on the different topics, and we can get time to know each other, and you can get time to ask me questions back and forth, and we have that conversation at a personal level. So my Facebook group is the Council of CEOs. My Facebook, my LinkedIn group is the Dream Agent Academy. Okay, have a great day and talk soon. Bye bye.